guys, how's it going? Wow, we are in for a celebration today. We have Andy Ottensamer, a good friend of mine, who is the principal clarinettist of the Berlin Phil. He's also a great soloist, chamber musician, all the works. We've played together many a time. He has his own festivals, like in the nicest places in the world. And I'm super stoked that he's going to be joining us today for some clarinet talk. I've actually appreciated the clarinet much more as of this week. I always knew that it was like an instrument that Squidward played, and but it's I gotta say it's a great instrument. And actually, I have some clarinet facts for you, but before we go to that, just want to say hi in the chat. Hi chat, how's it going? Where are you guys coming from today? Watching the stream. I hope you guys are having a good day. And let's see here. Okay, clarinet facts. Oh, did you know that clarinet comes from the word clarion, which means little trumpet? And the first clarinet was invented in Germany in the 17th century, but dates as far back as the 12th century through its ancestor, the chalumeau. The clarinet was the last instrument to be included as a regular instrument into the symphony orchestra, that was in the 18th century. So, Mozart's clarinet concerto is, of course, very famous. Brahms was also, loved the clarinet as well. So you have a few composers like that. They come in different sizes, the clarinets do, such as the bass clarinet, as well as different keys. The B flat and A clarinets are, of course, the most popular. And yes, like I said before, the most famous clarinet melodies and compositions have been written by composers such as Mozart, Brahms, Gershwin, and Aaron Copland. So, yeah. Those are a few clarinet lovers as we are here today as well. So wanted to just already go ahead and introduce to you Andy Ottensamer. Yeah! What's up, Andy?
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yep, good. Pretty good. Wow, that looks really nice where you are.
Yeah, a little vacation. Staycation.
Yeah. Dang,
No, it's.
I wish I had a balcony like that.
It's a nice place, in the middle of the trees.
Oh yeah, nice, very nice.
Well, next time you're in Berlin.
Yeah, I will. In fact, you might not even know it, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Well, we just have to be lucky that we're in Berlin at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm going to raise your volume a little bit just so that we get... All right, so today, you know what we're doing here, Andy? We're going to be reviewing a couple of videos together. And so you haven't seen any of these videos yet. You told me you wanted to keep it a surprise. So, Yep.
That's right.
All right, so here we have the first person. And his name is Justin. He's 16 years old. He's playing Saint-Saens Sonata, 4th movement.
Oh, love that piece.
Okay. All right.
Some serious
Yeah,
skills.
some serious scales. What you think, Andy? I mean, I thought it was pretty awesome. But then again, I don't know much about
Yeah,
clarinet
I mean,
playing.
first of all, great job. Thanks for sending in those videos. I totally trusted your expertise in
Thank you.
choosing.
Thank you. Well, we
the
had
ones.
great talent to choose from, so it wasn't so difficult, to be honest. It was. Thank you for your submissions. Yeah,
Great.
had actually too many
Cool,
videos,
cool.
and we couldn't possibly choose all of them. So unfortunately, we only have time for 4 today. So yeah, but that's that. But Andy, anything you want to say?
Yeah, that's great. That's great to see. It's great to see that that people are active and use this opportunity. I think it's always good to get some opinions from other musicians. Not even only from the same instrument, but just musically, right? So yeah, for this video, first of all, great job. Thanks for playing, and just be careful. As I was saying, like the first thing you can think of is, wow, so many scales and so many just long runs without really interruption. So just be careful that it's not all about that. First of all, in your sound quality, if you want. So kind of try to make it more melodic and harmonic within that virtuosity and technical aspect that's there. So the piano also has very nice beats in between, and that you think of that a little more. To be specific, also, like some of the last notes you were clipping, so you clip them short somehow a bit, which makes it quite I don't know, agitated, not in the best way, so to say. So just be careful really to pay attention even to the last notes, and even if you have to breathe quickly, still try to give it the quality. And sometimes that's why I was pointing out. Sometimes you just have to chill, even in those virtuosic passages.
I see. That's a good advice there. I honestly wasn't sure what you were gonna say, because he was just like already so amazing. But yeah, you're right. Now that I think back to the playing, yeah, I guess it's just much like violin, Sometimes virtuosity hides certain things that, like musicality, that we ought to be thinking of more, right? And it's important not to lose track
Exactly.
of the musicality behind how we shape those scales or those fast passages. Yeah.
And even more so if it's like here, if it's the beginning, for example, of a movement where you're actually not really at the place to completely go for it in the virtuosic way, but you still have kind of a lot of ground to cover, and then in the end you're going to explode really with the technical aspect. So kind of pay attention to that kind of pacing yourself, and then really releasing in the right moment from the technical.
Great.
aspect.
Speaking of technical aspects, I'm just about to, we have to do a little bit of a sound change here, because apparently my voice, your voice is not loud enough. However, I cannot raise your volume anymore. It's already at 200%. Okay. So I'm going to lower mine. And then we're going to ask people if it's better now. So as of right now, mine is lowered. Andy, can you say a few words?
Okay, I'll try to speak up a little bit.
I think it's probably because you're outside and your microphone is probably trying to, discern between your voice and the outside voice. So there's some sort of like noise cancellation thing going on. So if you're just a little bit closer, that would be great.
Sure. Let me do that.
Yeah.
Come on closer. Don't be shy.
Yes. Nice. Yeah, people want to get closer to you anyway, Andy. It's what we're all really here for. Just did you guys know, by the way, that Andy is probably the most athletic musician I have ever met. Probably actually you and Lorenzo Viodi are the two most athletic musicians, and it's just crazy. I mean, I thought because I go running, surely I'm athletic, but these guys are beyond crazy. They're skiing, playing tennis. What else do you do?
Anything you want: kite surfing, snowboarding, soccer, whatever. Really, anything that's fun.
Okay, nice.
But I think it can be a great balance if your body is used to that, and if it's fun and kind of frees your mind, then it's also it's not bad to be in shape, I guess.
Oh, nice. All right, now we're getting saying that the video is off by about 300, 400 milliseconds. I'm gonna adjust that. I'm gonna try to adjust that in real time. Although this is always a real pain. This is what I was trying to get done before. For some reason today, it just like changed by like 1,000 milliseconds off of what we had yesterday. But anyway, this is how it is. Andy, you want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just real quick?
Absolutely.
Excellent,
2, 3, 4,
guys.
5.
That's just how it's gonna be. You're just gonna have to you're gonna have to live with it. Sorry about that. But yeah, great words by Andy, and thank you for that. Also, thank you, Justin. And now we're gonna move on to our next person. It's Kyle Tai. He's gonna play the Mendelssohn Scherzo. He's 16 years old. Kyle, take it away.
Nice.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, he sent in a pretty short one, I guess. that's good. That's good.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Great. Cool. Yeah. Famous orchestral excerpt. So that's one of the big numbers for audition, so to say. So when you audition for a job in an orchestra, then that very surely you're gonna have to play that.
Okay.
That big
Okay.
excerpt. And yeah, so great. It's of course mainly about the staccato. And a little tip that I can give you is, first of all, for the quality of the sound, and secondly also for the stability of the speed and the rhythm, is if you try not to think of it as stopping the note too much, and try not to think the notes too separate from each other. So basically, as if you were playing legato, but then you just interrupt the notes with your tongue. So because now it sounds a bit, especially in the beginnings, the attacks are very almost percussive. So like ta, I really hear the start of it very clearly, like almost a noise. Although you don't really need that, because you don't need to use a lot of tongue or these percussive elements when you start a note. If you think, for example, of a sonata and you start, then you don't need this clarity. And the same thing is also when you play a staccato run, you don't need to have the very harsh beginning sound-wise, and that will also enable you to take it away much nobler, if you want, or much quicker even, because you don't have this kind of force holding you, but rather something that pushes you forward, and then it's going to be more elegant.
So a little bit maybe more follow through, even if there is a staccato, that it's much like that we don't suddenly stop the motion, that there's something in the space.
You always want to think of this kind of airflow which is steady, and you want the airflow to kind of start before you start the first note. And actually, this is a great time now that I'm talking to you, Ray, because what I always like to say is think of a string player. If you have a
I have to interrupt you real quick. We never say think like a clarinettist, so just to put that out there.
Well, and maybe
okay. No. Actually, we do. I'll take that back. We do say think like a wind player. That's true. To us, everything. Yeah, like a singer. Yes.
So what I was about to say is, when you have a fast staccato passage, for example, or even spiccato or whatever, you don't start with no movement
Right.
in your right hand, right? You come to the string already with a movement into the direction that you're gonna push or pull the bow. So that's exactly what we need to think of when we
The
start
motion
the air.
starts
It's not
before,
like,
right?
bah, right?
Are you talking about,
Exactly.
is that kind of like
Exactly.
diaphragm? Like you would start already somewhere rather than here?
It has a lot to do with, exactly, it has a lot to do with the stability in your core. That's why you have to do so many push-ups.
Wait, actually though? No.
No.
Okay. Okay.
No. But it is about the stability in your core, that you have a very, good foundation, and then you can follow through with the airflow. But a really good example of what you can think of is actually how a string player starts off a note, and how the motion, of course, starts before you actually touch the strings.
Interesting. Wow, that's super insightful. I mean, and there's so many, jokes aside, we do really, I think all all music really relates to each other, no matter what instrument you play. And I think that it always helps when we think of how would another instrumentalist or singer, especially singing because it's so natural, right, with the voice, how would they shape
Absolutely
or make the sound? I think that's so important. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out. And confirming that also clarinet, it's the same across almost, it seems like, any instrument. We'll wait until we see a tuba player,
sure.
see if that's still the case. If they still, Anyway, but wow, thank you for that, Kyle. 16 years old. Next, we have, this one's also a fast one. This one is Weber Grandeur Concertant. And I didn't catch the name, so but their username was it's Gustav Mahler. So that's all I have. That was a really short one, but I wanted to get through as many as possible. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. So any words, anything?
Well, first of all, Gustav Mahler is really young, and I didn't know he was a girl.
Well, these days we tend to stay away from genders here, so we just go with whatever they're happy with. No, but that's a dangerous topic. We don't want to get flagged here on YouTube. I don't want to just start digging that hole. Only,
I did
down that stream. All right, but yeah.
So beautiful piece, really beautiful piece. I've just also recorded this with Yuja,
wow.
actually. So I know it quite well, and it was a very short passage. I'm just gonna say something general about it. It is very often viewed as this like centerpiece of recital repertoire, very like serious, big piece, hard in playing together, hard in technically and everything. And so often we forget about actually the witty, how do you say, the wittiness, like the fun and the like upbeat atmosphere and character of the piece. So really, for me, I always think of Italian opera and this kind of world when I perform this grand duo, and it just if you play it with a smile, then it certainly.
Oh, you know what? I may or may not have done a boomer move and muted you that whole time.
Are you kidding me?
Wait, but somehow people can still hear us. I'm not really sure how that.
I just said the most intelligent things that ever could have been said.
I'm so sorry, but basically, I think there was no sound for a second, but
Whoa! And I just hit my phone.
No. Everyone's saying that we didn't mute the whole time. We just muted only for a bit near the end,
okay.
So we're good. We're good.
Okay, whatever. So just enjoy the piece. That's basically what it says.
Basically, having a smile in the sound. You know, I used to have this little piece of paper. I mean, it sounds super cringy and cliche, but it was in my violin case, and I would write a little note to myself that said, "Smile from your heart." So that was something that I used to have, and it reminded me to just always, whenever I sort of was about to play, because practicing for me, especially as a student, it was really hard and difficult. So whenever I took the instrument out of its case, it was always difficult for me to really be in a positive way. We always associate like that practicing from your last lesson, all that kind of stuff. So it was just always really good to sort of have that little reminder. So I'm glad that you're also offering the same words of advice to people as well here. Yeah.
No, for sure, and especially with pieces that are so kind of embedded in some kind of tradition or some kind of pressure because they're part of a big repertoire, or everybody plays them and stuff, and then we kind of tend to forget what they're about. And in this case, it's really a very just sparky piece. So we shouldn't forget that.
Nice. Play it. All right. Well, we are going to move on to our next one. We have here. Oh, and it's the last one we have is Joshua Choi. He's 16 years old. Gosh, we have so many young clarinetists here, and he's playing a piece called Homage à Bach, and it's by Bela Kovács. There you go. All right, here we go. Wow, that was really
Great.
Good.
What do you say now, Ray? Huh? We can play Bach.
Yeah. Well, that was really good. I believe that this his name here is Joshua. Joshua is Joshua's actually a pre-college student at Juilliard. So, but I think that he's just incredibly talented. For me, musically, I thought that was just so smooth. But then again, clarinet for me as an instrument just sounds really smooth. I don't know about you, but
well, if you do it right, then yes. No, but I agree. I mean, what really he did great was when I mentioned in the first video that try to kind of, especially if you have these long runs and passages, that you actually put them into a shape and into a melody, and not only see the technical part of it, and that was really well done. So that's great. If I should give some tips, then what I was saying for the Mendelssohn video is also applicable here, especially when you play for the beginning of the part that you played, these eighth notes. I hear a lot of noisy attack on the note, so it's really like like that, right? So, and opposing to that, you have an amazing quality in the softer and lower register staccato notes. So try to always pay attention that you also have this kind of quality, no matter what dynamic. So if you play forte or piano or whatever, and also no matter what range, like what register you play. So if it's in the higher register or in the lower, now you have quite a discrepancy between the lower register and the higher register sound of these controlled slow staccato notes. So the attack of them. So pay great attention, especially because you have all the aspects already quite figured out quite well. So really try to pay attention to these quality things. And the only other thing now quickly would be if you start a technical passage, make sure that the first note is not clipped short. So sometimes it sounded a bit like da 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 da, So you always have da 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 da. So you again give it the elegance and the comfort, even if it's fast notes, that you're in charge, you're in control, and you're shaping.
Wow,
this passage.
Great. Wow, there's always, just for violin, when I hear violinists, there's always something to say. So, but I just assume that's because violin's a difficult instrument. Yes. And it's also wonderful to see that from an outside perspective. It's two things that I really gathered from having other instrumentalists like yourself come in on these live streams, is that I get to hear other instrumentalists play and analyze them and appreciate them. You kind of, when you're kind of stuck in your own instrument, you just think about all the things that could be better, especially when you're giving a masterclass. And it's great to sort of be able to take a step back and let someone else take over, and then also be like, yeah, actually, even from another professional musician's perspective, like who isn't, or let's say your average concert goer, that music is easily appreciated. I think that's what I'm trying to say, is that we get so nervous when we're coming on stage, but we don't remember what it's like to not know what our instrument sounds like, or not be familiar with our instrument. So I think for those listeners and viewers out there, always to bear in mind that your audience is a lot friendlier out there than the audience that you think is in your mind. I think that that's something to take away from all this, is that that there's a lot of music appreciation, and so therefore we ought to be kinder to ourselves before we go on stage. So that's something that I just wanted to put out there. Yeah.
Certainly.
So anyway, I think that we have we have some time now that we have reviewed all of your videos. Now it's time for Andy to review his own videos. And actually, well, I don't even know what you would say. But, for our last streams, we had a couple of people like Noah or Amihai, Jasmine. And it was more about like, hey, you know, it's been a couple of years since these videos have happened. Some of them, you know, I picked two. One of them's the Weber with Berlin Phil, your band. And it's just like, I'm just curious to know, what would you do differently? What would you sort of, how, if you got to play that concert again today, like, what would be different about it from back then? It's not that it's better, but it's what would be different. I'm really curious. So I'm going to show this on the screen, and we'll take a listen to it. Yeah, there you have it. So what do you think? You said something there. Sorry, the audience didn't catch it because we were muted. But what did you say there? There was one part where you said something.
No, I just in the end I said, man, I've played this so often since
Oh,
this video.
so a lot of things have changed then, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would even go further. I would say it really. I mean, your interpretation, of course, evolves in ideally. So that is something. But then I would even say that every day you play it differently. Like even if you're on tour, I think probably you feel the same. I mean, even if you were to attempt to play it exactly the same, you wouldn't succeed.
Yeah, true. That's true. Okay, from a very yes, that's true.
Yeah. So and taking this thought, I kind of open up myself to the idea of following that at least a little bit, and saying, you know, why don't I take in the mood that I am in that very moment and try to at least adjust my performance a little bit to that, you know, or take my inspiration for the different characteristics of the piece from those emotions and feelings and experiences that I just had, you know? So
you're taking real life experiences that you've just experienced, like, for example, the joy in that rondo movement of the Weber, and to instill that into the music of the performance of that particular evening.
Absolutely,
wow.
Absolutely. For me, that's the only way to be able to perform the same piece over and over again, which often happens to us, I think. If I implement new sources of emotion and of experience to renew my kind of, you know, I mean, you have to portray that emotion and that feeling that you have for the piece to thousands of people who are in the hall, and then on multiple evenings. So it has to be so strong, the feeling that you have, that you can actually convey that through the music and convince people watching you.
Do you feel like sometimes you use up that positive energy? Does it get used up and you have to refill it with holidays or with loved ones? I don't know, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, of course, and that's also what I'm saying. I try to not always have the same kind of thoughts that I go back to in some moments of the music, where I say, okay, you need to have a happy thought, and then you have this one happy thought. If you use that over and over, then at some point it's gonna be normal in a way to say, okay, well, I'm gonna think of this and that. Even before a concert, that's why I'm also not like superstitious, or I don't have these routines before, because I think if I do it over and over again, it kind of diminishes.
Wow.
Totally. So I just try to keep it kind of keep the flow.
Amazing. Yeah, I totally get what you mean. I think that.
Yeah, but I wasn't trying to.
No.
Question, so of what I would do. No,
not at all. I think that it's really enlightening what you said, and it's sort of put us all on a different thought, but one that's very important, a different thought process that what does it mean? Like saying the same word over and over again, even in our minds, it has this weird thing that you stop recognizing, or spelling the same word over and over again, just looking at it, our minds just like jumble it up. Yeah. If in the future we always refer to it as Corelli Vivaldi. So there we go. So that's that. Anyway, I have another video for you. This one is actually, I just thought it was so cool. Clarinet, at least I think of it as a sort of bystander, as always, of course, a classical instrument first, but then also quite up there, and some people would say for them, it would be like a jazzy sounding instrument. And, it's always funny that with violin, we have a little bit of the same thing. There's the fiddle, and which comes across in all different shapes and forms, like the folk songs, or bluegrass, the jazz, that kind of stuff in terms of violin, what the violin can do. But when violinists, often classically trained ones, try to play jazz, it often sounds pretty there's the bow stroke is all off. It's mainly the right hand, and the sound isn't right. But when I listen to clarinetists play,
it's a great intro to my video.
I think it's great. Well, when you play, don't worry, it's because I felt like it was just so convincing. So I have here an Artie Shaw jazz clarinet concerto that you just absolutely nail with I believe it's the Barsan Philharmonic. So that's with your friend Lorenzo Viotti, who I had also had the pleasure to meet as well, a great conductor, who at some point he gets up from the podium and starts playing the drums. So I want you guys to look out for that. And of course, guys, by the way, Andy's links are in the description below. So go check out all of his things. His website is all there. His Instagram, Facebook, and he just released a new single from his album, The Blue Hour. Where he's got Mendelssohn songs without words. He's also, I believe, got the Weber as well on there as a recording. Weber Clarinet Concerto.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so a lot of other stuff. So be sure to check that out. Anyway, Artie Shaw, here we go. He's sitting down. Nice. Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so cool. I mean,
That was the most fun concert I
really?
ever had.
Yeah, it looks like it. Gosh.
Yeah,
That looks so
yeah.
cool.
And the party after, you can't imagine.
Well, yeah, it's like a party already on stage. You just move off stage and the party continues.
Yeah. But I mean, what you said before is very true. Of course, it's kind of a almost like a forbidden garden to enter for a classical musician, which I kind of find stupid because we already in the core repertoire have pieces that absolutely
Right.
cross the border, like
Gershwin,
Copeland
these
and
composers,
others.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. That you know, you need to have this groove in order to play them, and there's still a difference to like free jazz and improvisation and stuff, which I would never do on stage. So,
Well, I've heard you improvise plenty with the Chardash. You know, I mean that's you're definitely
all right.
guys. I mean, when we do the Monty
but
Chardash,
that was
yeah,
on purpose.
we just it's just like rehearsing with Andy is like, okay, so most people it's just like, all right, we're gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and then it's just like, and you map it out very clearly because it's terrifying, right? And it's just like, oh, you know, yeah, I think maybe, you know, I'll just do this anyway. It'll be fine. Let's go on stage. And I'm just like, what? Yeah.
But you handled it. You handled it like a boss, man. It was really.
That's because
it was fun.
everyone else is playing so loud that you know, Yuja there in the piano is just playing super loud that nobody can hear anything.
She nailed it.
Absolutely,
She nailed
absolutely.
It. My
yeah.
God. But you know, for that moment, it was part of it. It needed to have this. I mean, if you look at that video, for example, by the way, guys, you should check that out for sure. Then you see so much spontaneity that couldn't have been rehearsed. You know, it would have been unnatural in a way. And like that, it was just really. I mean, we were looking at each other and kind of in the moment saying like, "Okay, I play the next, or you, or I don't know what." So
amazing.
You know, so that I mean, that was just a lot of fun. And of course, if you play trio or sonata, whatever, it's
and
not
how
like
does
that.
the Artie Shaw compare to that? To like.
Well, as it's a big orchestra, of course, you're much more in a.
Is there a cadenza
shape,
in that
but
concerto?
it has a massive cadenza with only drums
Wow.
and clarinet, and there you can go crazy. So that's fun. But of course, the composed parts are. I mean, I can do some stuff with my voice, but not the
Right.
shape,
Yeah,
of course.
the structure stays the same. Yeah, that's really cool. Wow, I just thought that was such a fun piece. So, guys, if you want to hear the rest of that, definitely go check that out. By the way, I think we're almost out of time, but I wanted to see if you'd be willing to answer a couple of questions here, and then I have a little special surprise for you all. So, okay, starting with the first question here. What are your thoughts regarding cane reeds versus synthetic reeds? How does it affect, you know, the warmth/brightness in the sound? Personal preference, pros and cons? Go ahead.
All right, Ray. Is that for you? Want to answer that?
Well, personally, I prefer the cane reeds.
Exactly. No, look, this has been a great development in the past couple of years in the clarinet world. And of course, for the clarinet, it's much easier still than for double reeds because you only have one reed. So it's really a great alternative, but it all really comes down to the combination. So only having a good reed gives you nothing without the right mouthpiece that fits it and the clarinet and you as a player. So
would you say certain
it does
mouthpieces
not-
suit more cane reeds versus more synthetic reeds, or what's the end result?
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure. There are certain mouthpieces that are actually made for synthetic reeds, but even there, you really have to try. So there's no excuse, basically, or nothing saves you from trying many combinations. And it's not like you buy one synthetic reed and it solves all your problems. But even I use a lot of synthetic reeds since many years, and but I try a lot and I select and blah, blah, blah. And then once I find a couple of combinations that work, it does make life easier, and it's a great alternative. And for me, when I find the one that I'm really happy with, there is no how do you say, like there's no minus in the sound or in anything else. Otherwise I really
right. Okay, that's really interesting. That it's great to know that you personally are using both, or is it just more synthetic reeds these days?
It's definitely more synthetic reeds, almost only,
All right.
actually. And I've also just now developed a new like German Viennese cut because there's differences in French and
so you
Viennese
have your
German
own reed
players. So
can people get that?
It's not being produced.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet, but in the next couple of
All right,
weeks
so
or months.
Clarinet gang, be sure to look out for that. Andy Ottensamer reads that he has personally wetted in his mouth. Guys, we are ready. We are ready. I just like can't wait to. Well, I mean, they've been properly sterilized.
Now you're gonna be flagged.
Now I'm gonna be flagged. Yeah, I just watched it. Okay, next question we have here. Do you think that the fact that someone, basically someone who has a speech impediment, someone who finds it hard to speak properly and clearly, like if they sound like they're mumbled up certain words, how does that affect tonguing? Does it? And if so, how would you advise to learn fast tonguing, especially double tonguing? Is there any particular exercises that you would recommend?
Wow, I have no idea actually. I can only now quickly think of one example, which is Albrecht Meyer, my famous colleague, the star player from the Berlin Philharmonic and also a soloist, who apparently was, how do you say, stuttering?
Double tonguing?
Is that a word?
Oh, you mean,
No.
Yeah, he stutters.
Yeah. No, he did as a kid, and then at least on his kind of promo videos, that's what he says. So so I guess it's true. And then through his oboe playing, he got rid of that. So apparently, because I can imagine it helps you to steady your flow and your whatever. So I wouldn't see a clear kind of connection of why you shouldn't be able to do that, because I think you use your muscles in a way when you do staccato. But I'm absolutely no expert, and also I don't do double tonguing. I do single tongue only, because the quick story to that is that once I said, okay, you know what, I need to learn it, and then after trying to learn it for 3 months, I then compared it to the speed of my single tongue, and it was much faster. So I said, okay, you know what, whatever. I'm not going to learn that.
Okay, so it's basically possible to be the best at clarinet with single tonguing. So there you go. There you have it. All right, next question.
Fake it until you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Did you ever have a period of time where you thought you weren't improving much despite practicing a lot? And if so, how did you overcome that period? I think this is a great question, and it applies across the board. So we'd love to hear your thoughts, Andy.
To be honest, always when you're too kind of focused on long-term goals and on a huge amount on what you have to practice now and get ready, then that's the moment where you kind of feel frustrated most easily. You have you're not actually improving enough or at all. So I think it's more, or not always, but very often it can be more a problem of your mindset around it than actually of you not improving. So maybe what you want to do is take a step back and just focus on much less as your nearest goal, and then you will see, hopefully, that you actually do improve. But it just takes some time.
So basically, I mean, what Andy's saying is like taking a step back. Maybe it's just that you're so overwhelmed from trying to do so many things at once that you can't. I mean, first of all, you might actually just be too tired, and it's actually, impeding your improvement, or secondly, you just can't see the improvement because the next list of things is just piled so high that it's just, you know, you
Exactly.
can't, you feel like you're never reaching the top. But in fact, if you just stop for a moment and take a look around, you'll notice that, wow, actually, you know, it's come a long way.
And don't forget that in the end, music is an art form. So we have to give some room for this creativity to actually spread. And it's, of course, you have to master the technical aspect thing, and you will not learn a piece by just taking walks and listening to words. You have to practice. But in the end, this last little step of really making it your own will probably not come through playing it the 5 million and first time, but you know, finding your way of making this piece your own, and that can come through many ways.
That's great. What a beautiful way to look at, you know, the art of improvement, which is something that we all struggle with. So thank you for those words. All right. Next question. What is your process in finding the reed for performances? Also, are there any embouchure exercises that you recommend for strength and endurance? Oh, I could do with some of these embouchure exercises. I want to increase my embouchure as well.
Well, first of all,
please tell me what your embouchure exercises are.
Yeah. Well, if you talk like this for
really?
a long time, it's gonna no, forget that. No, seriously. It's a good question. I would refrain from doing some specific exercises only for your embouchure muscles or anything. Just let it come naturally by playing. Okay. You know? And yeah. I've never, you know, I've never heard of anyone plays enough having problems with endurance in a way. So just, you know, steadily and not from 0 to 100, but just increase the time that you play, and then at some point, you know, muscles will build just as they do when you work out or whatever. So yeah, that's the one question. The other one was the reed. I really try not to fixate myself too much on like this one reed has to do everything for me, and oh my god, and then I pick it 2 weeks before, and then I frame it and put it on the wall, or something like that. I really don't do that. Also, probably it solves itself naturally for me because I don't have to.
Right. Sorry, the video is sort of getting to the point where it's being like, okay, it usually does this at the end. It's something to do with the internet. So apparently German internet struggles hard. So that's what I was told by Amihai and Noah. Although, you know, Noah's internet was actually fine. I just accidentally muted him. That was my fault. Maybe Amihai just had viola internet.
You seem to do that. So.
Yeah, they call it boomer moves. So I make a lot of boomer moves. But anyway, that's really cool. I think we have. Yep. What was the most musically powerful moment you've experienced?
Wow, I couldn't single one out.
Okay, well, since you can't single one out, why don't I give you the most musically powerful moment right here, right now? I have a surprise. This is the thing. Oh, and you know what? You know what I've practiced doing?
I've
practiced doing this.
Tenderly.
Just wetting my reed.
Yeah. You do this like a pro.
And then,
yeah, it needs a bit more spit.
I put spit on it. And then the part where I insert this, the flat end goes against here. And then I put it...
Yeah.
Oh, don't touch the tip?
Don't touch the tip.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I'm not supposed to touch the tip? How do I push it down then?
Well, I mean,
Oh, just like here?
Like you did just now. Like
Should the tip be slightly
you should
over the lip?
No, actually, just ending with it.
Okay. Oh,
Now look
From
the
this
front,
way?
Look from the front, and then if you see just a tiny little black curve, then that's perfect. Just really.
okay, I do. And then I
Tiny
push
bit.
this down, this part down. Okay.
Yeah, but just be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
That looks good.
Looks like mine. Yeah, amazing. It's already.
Okay. Okay. Do I need to tighten this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
Oh.
like you do with
Okay.
your bow.
Okay.
It's the same principle because you want.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Now, I learned that I have to cover the back hole. This one. And then these three holes here to make a B flat. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
That's it.
here we go.
Depends on which
Your
band you
most
play, but yeah.
musically powerful experience.
Okay.
Wait. I practiced this.
All right. Let me give.
Yeah.
Let me give you a tip. Yeah. So you're holding it too. You need to hold it a bit steeper.
Like
Little bit. That's too much. Yeah, a bit too much. Yeah, no, between that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. No. Down. No. You look ridiculous.
there you go. That was your most musically powerful experience.
My God, you look ridiculous.
Okay, what's one thing that I can improve?
But-
How can
but
I
actually-
improve?
You're talented.
Thanks. It was my first time trying the clarinet. I just got
amazing.
it yesterday.
Well, I think you.
Oh, by the way, I have
you
to
can
pause for a
try
moment
to-
just to thank our wonderful sponsors for this clarinet. It's Vintage Instruments Philadelphia. So thank you for letting me borrow the clarinet. I will not be returning it to you anytime soon to ensure that Corelli 19 is not anywhere transported by this instrument.
Burn it.
Exactly. So go on. Say what you have to say about the. How can I improve my already amazing clarinet skills?
No, I love how you insert your whole musicianship into those three notes or four notes. It sounded a bit Turkish. It was like
I got a little bit
Oriental. Yeah. Also the trills.
You did
really
not just
nice.
say that. Okay, go ahead.
You need to find the point of the minimum kind of tension and pressure you need of your lower embouchure, but of course enough to make it sound. So don't kill the sound.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. And are you putting the teeth on top?
No. Oh, really?
Yeah, but you should. Don't. It's not an oboe. So this is with lip, and here's the teeth. Yeah, you look much better. You look much better.
Oh, what? That came much easier.
Yeah, there we go. I'm a good teacher, and not. You're too like so. Yeah, there we go. Look at your little finger.
I was trying to say da-yum,
I
da
know
da
what
da
it is.
da
Tchaikovsky.
da.
Yeah. Oh no. I thought you were playing the Tchaikovsky.
We're getting teeth too high up.
Yeah, teeth. Yeah.
Why does it go into that note? What? Oh.
You press too much. You press too much. Yeah. Let it swing. Yes. Ooh, beautiful. All you need to close everything and push the back button on the thumb, the left thumb.
Okay, all right. You know what? I'm not gonna torture our listeners anymore. But thank you for the wonderful masterclass. That was super insightful.
Fantastic.
And I promise I'm gonna practice. Next time I'm gonna be able to play a really convincing snake charmer piece that is just gonna be it's gonna be great. So
Next time at my festival, we're gonna play a clarinet duo.
all right, I look forward to that. But
Because you already confirmed.
yeah, that's
the
true.
date,
That's
so,
true.
I got you.
Yeah, Andy has a beautiful festival in Bergenstock. It's in Switzerland. It's like the best place. I think some of you guys saw photos probably and stories from my Instagram earlier. It's like you're above the clouds. It's so amazing. So yeah, thanks. Anyway, wanted to thank Andy for being spending time and being so generous with his sharing his experiences, his musical advice, and just, and thank you to all of you who submitted videos. It was an amazing experience to watch all of your videos. And I'm sorry we couldn't get to all of them, but keep practicing, guys. And there's going to be a next offstage guest next week, and I'll be announcing that soon. But in the meantime, please, everyone, say thank you to Andy Ottensamer. Thank you so much. And Andy, I guess we'll see you soon. Yep.
Hope so.
And
It's great. It's great chatting with you.
And any last words? That's it.
No.
No. Okay.
No, I mean, look, it's great to be in
Yeah.
touch like that, and that's all we can do, and I think it's a great deal to share a little insight with the people who are also stuck at home and need some motivation to keep practicing and keep.
That's right. You heard it, guys. Keep practicing, and we'll see you soon on the next stream. Thanks so much, Andy. Bye.
Thank you. Ciao. Ciao. Ciao.
Guys, wasn't that so much fun? My goodness, I had a great time with this this week's guest artist, and thank you again to Andy, who and thank you to all for your submissions. We've also wanted to invite you onto the Discord as well. That's in case you're wondering, where do I submit these videos? Because we have Ray reviews and we have offstage guest reviews as well every week. So don't want you guys to miss out. And so check out the Discord. The link is in the description. Also, we have our own subreddit, Chen Violin. And yeah, you know where to find me. All right. See you guys. Bye.